I'm Julia Waters.
I'm Orrin Waters.
And I'm Maxine Waters.
Check out Movies for Grownups on YouTube.
Hi everyone, I'm Meg Grant.
And I'm Bill Newcott, and welcome to a special edition of Movies for Grownups, the top 10 movies for the Boomer generation.
I don't know, Bill, but I found it really tough to limit to 10 the movies that define the Boomer generation.
I know, Meg. We started out with 100 or so films, and Meg picked her favorite 5, I picked my favorite 5, and here they are.
Starting with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Do you think there's anything wrong with your mind, really? Not a thing, Doc.
Jack Nicholson as McMurphy ended up in a snake pit of a mental hospital at the mercy of Nurse Ratched, who was played by Louise Fletcher. And we came away understanding what was right about the movement to deinstitutionalize many mental patients. McMurphy, after all, wasn't really mentally ill. He was just a bad boy.
And Cuckoo's Nest firmly established Jack Nicholson as everybody else's bad boy, too. Forrest Gump.
Now, my mama's always telling me how miracles happen every day. Some people don't think so, but they do.
Tom Hanks' simple-minded hero Forrest Gump walked through Boomer history from the civil rights South right through the computer age. And in the end, we realized we're just all Forrest Gumps. We're just stumbling through history on our own.
That movie was my favorite Tom Hanks performance. He just got lost in that character. Coming Home.
I do not belong in this house, and they're saying that I don't belong over there.
I was too young to have peers directly affected by the draft.
Were you too young?
I was. All right. So this film, starring Jane Fonda and Jon Voight, really helped me understand that the Vietnam War experience came home with some of these guys. Voight's characters showed us all what life was like for those who were scarred by the war.
And don't forget Bruce Dern, who was in that movie. He played Jane's husband. And he represented all those guys who came home from the war only to find that their home lives have been totally disruptive and sometimes destroyed. Dr. Strangelove.
Well, boys, I reckon this is it. Nuclear combat toe-to-toe with the Ruskies.
You know, Meg, our parents saw entire nations nearly destroyed in World War II. But in Dr. Strangelove, Stanley Kubrick expressed what a lot of us thought as we cowered beneath our desks during those air raid drills as we were kids, that a powerful weapon, so powerful that it could wipe out humanity, well, you just had to think of that as ludicrous and ridiculous.
And remember Slim Pickens riding the bomb at the end?
Yeehaw!
Blade Runner.
Time to die.
What a gritty, fascinating view of the future that was, in my city of Los Angeles, no less. Harrison Ford's Rick Deckard was an action figure we'll never forget, and we root for him because he knew that cloning was not the answer.
Ridley Scott had this incredible dark view of the future, and I don't think we would have had the Terminator movies or the Matrix movies or even the Batman movies without them. They just cribbed off that vision, and movies still do today.
Yeah.
Actually. Rebel Without a Cause.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
Now this film came right in the middle of the baby boom period, and it pretty much set the tone for the whole generation, I think. Like James Dean, tortured anti-hero, we boomers thought of ourselves as always searching for meaning, always rejecting our parents' priorities, and always trying to shape the world into our own image.
And don't forget that that movie also launched the career of Natalie Wood.
And Jim Backus played his dad, Mr. Magoo.
Reds.
I say you tell Mr. Morgan and Mr. DuPont and Mr. Rockefeller to get over there and do some of the fighting.
Kindred spirits stand up for their shared belief in communism.
You know, I'm not sure that movie could even be made today. You know, a lot of people think of Dr. Zhivago as being the quintessential Russian Revolution film, but it's more opulent, but I think Reds may be a better film. A Hard Day's Night.
Are you a mod or a rocker?
No, I'm a mocker.
Controversial choice here, but the Beatles' first movie is a slapstick comedy that reminds you of Buster Keaton. But director Richard Lester's black and white film, it almost has a newsreel quality to it. And I think if you want to understand Beatlemania, Meg, you have to see A Hard Day's Night.
And remember, 2014 marks the 50th anniversary of the Beatles coming to the U.S. It's going to be Beatlemania all over.
And I'm feeling very old as you say that.
A Star is Born.
Look, I never thought I'd get married again. You'd be lucky to have me.
Every woman, I'm telling you, in the audience swooned with Barbra Streisand over Kris Kristofferson.
I think it's fun to think that Streisand actually wanted Elvis Presley to play the Kris Kristofferson role in A Star Is Born.
That would have been wrong.
That would have been a different movie, that's for sure. The Graduate.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me. Aren't you?
You know, I think The Graduate is the ultimate boomers movie. Dustin Hoffman comes out of college, doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, and everyone's ready to tell him what to do with his life. Plastics, plastics. He wanted one woman, then he wanted her daughter, and at the end, when he finally got everything he wanted, he still didn't know if that was what he wanted. It just sort of reflected what a lot of boomers were like in 1967. A lot of boomers are like right now, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's our list of the top 10 boomer movies. And I know what you're thinking.
I do too. You think you could do better.
Well, go ahead, make our day. Tell us what movies you think define the boomer generation.
And you'll see it's not so easy to do.
Not so easy, I'll say.
Be sure to read our weekly reviews and entertainment blogs at aarp.org/movies and check out the Movies for Grownups channel each week for what's new for you.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, the show never ends on the Movies for Grownups channel. Add your review in the comments section below. Then subscribe, like, and check back next week for more Movies for Grownups.